Said I wanna leave to see the mountains. I said I really wanna hit the road. But no matter what I said, it's all just in my head. In reality, I've yet to go. 'Cause I think I'll do it later. Better now to wait. But you go ahead and throw a different plan my way. Why not today? Why not today? You got your life to waste. Don't wait around for circumstance to go your way. Why not today? Why not today? Just go now, it's okay. Escape now from your cage. You've got your life to waste. Why not today? Why not today? While I'm whistling this tune and wheeling homemade pasta in any city we want to. Pack a bag and say, come on, let's go. 'Cause we could do this later, and sure it's worth the wait. But I think we have a better plan in place. Why not today? Why not today? You got your life to waste. Don't wait around for circumstance to go your way. Why not today? Why not today? Just go now, it's okay. Escape now from your cage. You've got your life to waste. Why not today? Why not today?
And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, live here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in the world, where you may be catching this live broadcast here in my studio. I'm here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest of Seattle, Washington. And this is the prospecting studio where we do sound baths, meditations, metaphysical conversations, writing, articles, music, Star Wars lightsabers. So I've always been curious about the world. That's why I go by the name of the Intuitive Prospector. And so I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector. Always curious about life's mysteries, the unknown, the things that, take place, the things that make us in the human experience, right? And today we come on live for community, for encouragement, for manifesting, for peace, for joy, for love, for healing, for transformations. We try to come on here Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm just going to share the page out here. If you want to subscribe to the page, please do so. Love to have you join our journey and join the over 41,000 prospectors that are, maybe just like me, questioning life's many curiosities and mysteries, from the Loch Ness Monster to Bigfoot to aliens to the Matrix to, everything that we just, we think we know, but we just don't know, right? So let me just share that over here. All right, and I'll give some shout outs to the people on the journey with me this morning. But I would say also grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's do a little bit of prospecting and exploring. And today, I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. And that's usually most cases with my shows, uh, including my podcast, Inspired Living Radio. It's really kind of just going organically and letting it go with the flow. And isn't that funny? That's the card that was for me this week. Just go with the flow, right? And today I was, during my meditation, I was thinking, what's something that would, resonate with people, and a good message to help out with today. And let me just, before I get started, let me just give some shout outs. Good morning, Claudia. Good to see you again. Hi, Jane. Hi, Cara. Jenny Fisher, Patty Ann. Good morning. Hello, beautiful people. Guided to tune in today. Well, thanks for being here, Jenny. Um, Colleen, good morning. Shar Endo, hello to you. Made it here again after a long time not attending. Yep, that happens, Claudia. You get busy in life and the journey, and maybe that message will resonate with you, that I'm going to talk about this morning. Yep, and Jenny, we'll get you a card here in a little bit, and just make sure to, again, how this kind of works. Just to update, just keep the comments positive, keep the flow, keep kindness and compassion, and being a part of this community. If you come in or we see, comments that are, demeaning or negative or controversial, we'll delete those comments, of course. But if you come in like a spam call on a phone and you ask people for a reading, or you can get more accurate readings here, I don't know if there's such a thing, then we ban you. So we ask that you don't do that. I do have some moderators on the page that do moderate the comments, and do have the permission to report you to Facebook and ban you from the community page. So best thing to do is not do those type of things, because we want to create positivity. And I use my social media, because social media is very crazy, right? But I use my platforms for positivity, whether it's here on Facebook. You may be catching my show over on my YouTube channel that's broadcasting right now, Soul Adventures. I do want to say thank you to all of these subscribers. I'm not sure what happened, but a couple weeks ago, I was trying to make the number of 500 subscribers literally in a span of a couple weeks. Maybe it's the universe working with me, right? Manifesting the alignment. I always, think in terms of signs, symbols, synergy, and synchronistic events. And as I get ready to move out of my current position I've been doing, for 23 years, and moving into retirement to do more of this, all of a sudden my YouTube channel blew up to where we're over 3,500 people, heading to 4,000 subscribers. And I'm like, what changed? What happened? Maybe it's the energy, maybe it's the intention, maybe it's the manifesting, because we are in the year of the 8. 2024 is the year of the 8, which is my year as a life path 8. And it's like, maybe this is, last year was truths and things I had to work through and come to terms with. And now we move into the year of the 8, which is about abundance. It's about manifesting. It's about business. It's about creating things in our world. And all of a sudden, my YouTube channel is going to hit 4,000 subscribers here within the next week or so. That's just mind blowing. But thank you so much. Thank you for the journey. Thank you for the follow, the subscriptions. If you're one of my Patreon prospectors, you're a star sender here on Facebook, or you're a Diamonds Hub subscriber here on the Facebook page, I'll come to you first with readings. Open up the Zoom room if you want to come and ask me a question. Happy to do that. But today I wanted to talk about, it was funny because it was a song that I was listening to. Yep, it does boost the collective, Jenny. So thank you so much. Hi, Jen Lewis. Katie, good morning to you. Good morning, Caroline. Beautiful day. Yep, I'm doing well. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. So again, just when I get to my reading section of this show, I look for your badges. So you have a badge on Facebook, subscriber, share, contributor, anniversary, follow, etc. And then I also now look for, I have a new badge called the Diamonds Hub. So it's a green crest with a heart in it. And it's those that have now subscribed to the Diamonds Hub, which is only $4.99 a month. It was something that Facebook allowed me to create. Both when you reach a certain amount of people, subscribers or followers, they open up more things for you as a content creator, I guess. So my TikTok, same thing happened with TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. But the Diamonds Hub is literally where I can interact with the subscribers more on a personal basis and give readings there inside that hub. In different postings. And every month, at the beginning of every month now, I have, after the show, the first Friday of every month, if you're a Patreon prospector, you can get everything right here at marklainhart.com. Or you're a Diamond Sub subscriber within Facebook, then I have sessions I have 2 sessions the first Friday of every month, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. So if you can't meet one of them, there's 2 opportunities to get a reading. And it could be, a meditation, could be some breath work, could be some prayer, could be psychic, could be mediumship. It's literally, I just offer a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get until you show up. And showing up is literally a big part of our journey, right? So this morning, when I was sitting in meditation, I try to sit in the silence because, Rumi talked about this, the Buddha talked about this, Lao Tzu talked about this, Krishna talked about this. Some of the most influential guru spiritual masters of our times in our history always talked about take the time. Well, this is my saying, take the time to disconnect so you can have time to reconnect, especially here in America. We are so disconnected with everything. It's just like, so I sit in the silence. I sit in the power. I take time to just sit and listen to the higher voice, listening as a form of prayer, but also meditation, listening back, right? And they always talked about the more silent and still you become, the more you'll actually hear. And that took me a long time to process that understanding. I didn't understand, what do you mean the more silent and still you become, the more you'll actually hear, until I finally, through transformation and trauma and grief and healing, that I started to understand what they were talking about. And there is great power in the silence. So, if you're having a stressful day today, or maybe you had a real shitty week, take just a moment just to practice the pause. Take a lifetime out, if you will, and just take in the sacred breath. Breath is so powerful and transformative and healing. We don't realize that the power of our breath can really inspire us and change us to do things that we never thought possible. But it also quiets those monkeys in your mind, right? The ego, as they will. I believe in breath so much as a breath student, and working on different breaths, from Wim Hof and cold therapy to Soma breath work with moving into a state of hypoxia, that it's now tattooed on my arm right here. This is a Sanskrit for breath. It's a reminder when, things are not going right in your life, or you're feeling overwhelmed or uncertain or depressed or anxiety or PTSD. The list goes on and on and on. It's like, okay, one thing I can do to calm this all down, increase my auric field, my energy, is to take a breath. That's why I got it right here. It's a reminder. It's like checking my pulse. I am alive. Oh yeah, there's a tattoo here to remind me to just breathe. And of course, as the Buddha reminds us, you need to let that shit go, right? And what today's topic is actually from one of my favorite singers that I really love, is Brandy Carlisle. Not Belinda from the Go-Go's, but Brandy. She's from here. She actually has a house over, I believe, in Maple Valley, which is just like 20 minutes that way from my studio. And she's been around in the Seattle Pacific Northwest for years, for over 25 years. And she's really made it big the last few years, really come on the main stage. And she's got a song called, had it up and I closed it. I hope you enjoyed the song we did play, which was Why Not Today. That group is by the Sleeping Lion, is the name of the group. And it's all, any music that I ever play on my podcasts, my shows, my YouTube channel, they're all copyright free, already pre-approved by Meta, trademarked. We don't have to pay for it. They're copyright free, so I don't get muted. But that song opening the show today was called Why Not Today by Sleeping Lion. And so I have a whole list now of new songs that I'm playing, but I liked it. It was the words were great. Why not today? To Carpe Diem. So Brandy had done this song years ago, and it's called Right on Time. And so this morning, when I was in my meditation, thinking about what I was going to share with you this morning, it was about, because I'm going through some pretty, transformative, heavy shit right now in my own personal life with my health. I'm going to have back surgery, which I haven't been in the hospital. I was just talking to one of my spiritual counselors. We talk on Fridays before the show, and telling him, I haven't been in the hospital since I was 5 years of age. I've had my nose replaced, or my nose broken a few times from sports, and had to go in, outpatient kind of stuff. But I haven't technically been in the hospital and since I was 5 years old, where I fell out of the tree. I was riding, just being a dumb kid, riding this tree like a horse, and the branch was going, back and forth, and I'm like, yeehaw. And the last thing I remember is looking back at my best friend at that time, Wade, and the branch broke and I fell. I have no recollection of this, but I fell on my head from about 20 feet. Luckily, I didn't paralyze myself or break any of my vertebrae. But I spent 3 days in the hospital with severe concussion, and it was really the first experience of where I walked with what I would call big shadow people. I remember walking with people, and I didn't know years later that would be one of my first spiritual connections of what it is I would later come to do. And I clearly remember walking with two very tall beings, and they weren't male and they weren't female. There was no sex to them. There was no characteristics. They were just like energetic beings that were very, very tall, and they kind of looked like my shirt, actually, now that I'm thinking about that. But they had a glow around them, like they were glowing, and they both were walking me, holding my hands, walking me into this world. And I thought, maybe, did I die for a second? Or, because I fell on my head 20 feet after the branch broke. So I haven't been in the hospital since I was 5 years of age, right? Um, and so I'm gonna have to have back surgery, and that's something that I knew was coming, and kind of mentally preparing for. But it's like, two nights in the hospital for the surgery, which is going to be done with robotics, which is kind of cool. It shows you where technology has advanced, and spend 2 nights in the hospital. And the song, when I was thinking about this, came on, and it was Right on Time. Now, in the song Right on Time by Brandy Carlisle, it talks about it wasn't right, but it was right on time, right? It wasn't right, but it was right on time, because timing always is important, right? Why did that happen? Why did that not happen? So it's just like today's message is right on time. If you know the song, play it by Brandy Carlisle. If you've never heard of it, I'm learning to play it on my guitar, just for the fact that the lyrics are, it was not right, but I can't play it here, unfortunately, because it's not an approved song for my show. But the message is relevant. It's not right. It wasn't right, but it was right on time. And a lot of stuff that I'm going through right now, personally, in my career, and as I get ready to retire, it's not right, but as the spirit world told me months ago when this all started, that it would be right on time. And then you realize that time is the great illusion, right? Time is only measured by us. We're the only species on this planet that measures our life by time. How many times we've gone around the sun? Oh, we're celebrating another birthday. Oh, great. So just another reason to spend money, right? Celebrate your birthday. We didn't always celebrate birthdays, just so you know. If you're a student of history like myself, I love history, because when you learn history, history teaches you where you're going. And I can tell you, based on our history, we're heading to some pretty transformative, changing times in our roaring 20s. And I've taught, if you followed my work, I've been talking about this for many years now. I actually talk about it in my book. You can get my book over on Amazon. It's a bestseller now. It's a contribution of us different authors that have put our thoughts onto pages. And the book is literally called Between Worlds. You can see it a little bit better here. So I'm part of Best American Psychics, and it's our accounts of psychic experiences. And so, as I put my thoughts pen to paper, I've talked about a lot of the transformation that would come in our roaring 20s, and how I came to understand the bigger picture than, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So if you follow my journey, I always remind you, 3 eyes in life: 2 to look, 1 to see. And when we were talking with, when I was talking with Tom, my spiritual brother, my counselor, that's been helping me for, about 5 or 6 years now, when I was in some pretty dark places of the soul. Because when you go through transformation, a lot of people have this connotation or this idea that transformation is great, and it's not really that great, to be honest with you. In fact, the last week's show that's now over on my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures, I talked about how transformations are tough. Transformations are very tough. It's not kitty cats and cupcakes and kumbaya and rainbow. It's literally identifying yourself. It's identifying why you're here. What's your purpose? What's your passions? What's your plans? And so the things that I've been going through, dealing with very unkind people, very miserable people, right? I became the villain in somebody else's story, pretty much. And that's fine, because I know my value. I know my worth. I know who I am, right? To know thyself. And that's been the last 5 years of transformation, is to know thyself and to do this more. And so that means early retirement for, I've been with the federal government for, 23 years. Since at the age of 23, I've been, when I started my days in the U.S. Coast Guard, I was actually 22 when I started. And so now, the universe is aligning me to something different, to something new, to something that will continue with inspiration, encouragement, motivations, thinking outside the box, prospecting for the things that are unknown that will become known in our roaring 20s. It's always that adage, science fiction starts off as science fiction. If you love Star Trek like I do, not as much as Star Wars, but I am a Trekkie as well. And you go with Gene Roddenberry, who wrote Star Trek. He penned a lot of stuff that was at that time considered science fiction, which now has become science fact. And it's like with our progression of technology, we're evolving, we're transforming, we're working through the aggressions of our social media, our internet, our connections behind a keyboard. We're going to see the ability of AI really coming into play, robotics, quantum computing, a lot of things that are going to be coming. It's going to get even more intense and more increased. And it's like, can we work through, as an advanced civilization, as an advanced consciousness, can we work through our aggressive evolution of technology, right? And so when I was talking with Tom today, and somebody else had brought this up, and it was kind of a fascinating idea of, what if we are AI? Just think about it for a second. Just bear with me. Again, here we can agree to disagree. We have different perspectives. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm just sharing this philosophy about, what if we are AI and we don't realize that we're AI, right? What if we became sentient? We're born, we're incarnated into physical form, right? And we have all these synapses wiring brains that are actually much more than the universe and the stars in the sky. What if we are artificial intelligence created and we're evolving, right? It's just something to think about, because we were talking about, if you've ever seen the movie The Arrival. No, it's not The Arrival, I think it's just Arrival. It came out in 2016, and it did okay in the theaters, but I was fascinated with it because it was all based on understanding communications through symbols, right? And the synopsis of the story is, a species that's far more intelligent than us comes back, what we would say, come back to our time, but in their way of life, there is no time. They have the ability to go through space and time, multidimensional, but they had to come back to a certain point in our time, because in the future, our future, they know that we would have to help them 3,000 years in the future. So who's to say that we're not planting seeds today for artificial intelligence, that 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, we can look back at the roaring 20s of the 20th century and say, oh, that's where it actually all started. But just something, food for thought, right? That's what the Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live is all about, having conversations and different perspectives and philosophies. And it was just something we were talking about. What if we are AI and we don't know it, but we're now starting to realize that? What if there is a matrix? What if there is plugging into something bigger than ourselves? I mean, think about it. We're quite an amazing structure. And I mean, structure is like, we're robots, right? We plug in every night for sleep. If you've gone 3 days, I think the most I've ever gone without sleep would have been in my Coast Guard days. I was up for almost 4 days, so over 72 hours, because we were working cases, and you get to the point where you're so tired you don't actually sleep. It's kind of a interesting psychology approach, but when you haven't had sleep. So we actually shut down and do nothing, and like plug in our cell phones, plug ourselves in, and our brain, we stop doing everything and our brain fires. Science shows that, sleep studies show that the brain fires at so many different levels. So we plug in every night and then we come back, and it's like, why do we sleep? Well, because technically these are machines. We are machines in the physical incarnate that need that energy, that rest, so we can function in what we call this life, right? Some would argue that when we go to sleep, that is reality, and when we wake up, that this is the dream. So what if there is a matrix? What if every night we die and we don't know that we've died, but then all of a sudden we come back into the physical body, right? The consciousness, the energy, the auric field expands out. Just things that I never really thought about, and we didn't really talk about in my education system, in my college system. I went through high school, went to college, got an undergrad, went to graduate school, got a graduate degree in sports medicine. So I've had all these different modalities of education and study, but the one thing no one's ever been able to tell me, as a certified healthcare provider for over 25 years, Nobody's been able to identify what the energy in our heart is, the God spark, the divinity within, the connection to source, whatever. We know everything about the heart, how it works, the veins, the arteries, the chambers, the aorta, everything. But nobody can actually validate and prove where that electrical spark comes from. It generates the power that makes your heart beat, that pumps the blood, that gives you breath, that allows you to be in the physical incarnate, right? So it's just something I've always been long fascinated with. And again, we're the only species that measures our life by time. So maybe the timing of everything that's going on in your life is not great. So, it wasn't right, and it's not right what's going on with me, but maybe it's right on time. And that's the song by Brandy Carlisle. So check that song out, Right on Time. I love her song This Time Tomorrow. If you know the genre, she's more of she would be more considered in a folk genre, I guess. But I saw her live when she opened up for Pink in Vegas a couple months ago, and she was fantastic. It was awesome. But it's just, I love those songs, Right on Time and This Time Tomorrow. So wherever you're at, whatever's going on, maybe it wasn't right. Maybe it's, how you're being treated, relationship, career, health wise, the things that I'm going through. It's not right. It wasn't right. And it'll be past tense when this moves forward when I retire. It wasn't right, but it was right on time, because sometimes we're forced and we're pushed to do things that we normally don't want to do because we are creatures of habit, right? We are very habitual in staying with our things and feeling comfortable in our space. But I've also learned in transformation, like I said, transformations are tough. You have to step outside of that wheelhouse. You have to step outside of that comfort zone, because it's in that uncomfortability that you grow and evolve and become much more wise and much more full of wisdom, and in the acceptance of that and the flow of that, right? And so, it's just right on time, because again, the only way you're going to know if you can fly is if you leave the nest, right? And sometimes we're pushed out of our nest. So what you can do, and I was working with a client recently, and I told her the way you can change the energy is you can play the victim of it, or you can become the master of it. And it's literally your words, your thoughts become your words become your actions. Words are energy. And so throughout this whole time, the last 8 months of dealing with unkind, unhappy people, systems that no longer work, and infrastructure that's crumbling, from the federal government to other institute education, the court of law. There's a lot that we're seeing that aren't working anymore, because society is transforming and evolving and moving past that to what they accept and what they don't accept. And so I had to look at it and say, you know what? This is happening for me. This isn't happening to me. And the difference is when you apply that energy and that mindset and that mantra and you say those words, this is happening for me, you become the master of your situation. Whereas if, oh, it's happening to me, now you've taken your energy and you've lowered the vibration to where you're the victim of the situation. So I've always been the firm believer, if people make you feel less than your worth, move on. Don't move in, I don't go into a place of vengeance against people. I just delete you. You're just done. You're not part of my arena. You're not part of my consciousness. You're not part of my thought anymore. And that's what I'm having to do. But this is happening for me. It's not happening to me. So whatever you're going through, it might not be right, but maybe it's just right on time for the delivery, because it's pushing you to go in a new way that you maybe never would have gone before, right? And it's something that I have taught my students in my development group about patience, about trust, about discipline, about dedication. And if I'm going to talk the talk, I got to walk the walk with my own philosophies, right? And it does. It sucks what's taking place, and it sucks that I have to get surgery. But the timing of it, again, only species that measure life by time. From what the surgeon told me, he said, you're going to have a whole new look on life. You're going to get, this Terminator disc. They're going to replace a full disc and a spacer. So I can not have to live with pain like I have the last probably decade, and just kind of work through it, right? And he said, you're going to have a whole new lease on life, and that impacts your mindset. And so it's right on time. Don't want surgery. Didn't think I would retire as young as I would be retiring, but it's right on time. And it forces me to make the change and to acknowledge it's happening for me, not happening to me, right? Not the victim of this, the master of this. But it also, one of the things that I believe in is every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. And if you follow Steve Maraboli, he talked about that. Every time I thought I was being rejected by something good, so a form of rejection has taken place. I'm literally the villain in somebody else's story. Somebody that's very unhappy. These people that I report to, just very unhappy, unkind, unprofessional, unethical people, right? But I'm being rejected from that, but I was actually being redirected, right? So you go from being rejected to redirected, right? And today's message is about it wasn't right, but it's right on time. And sometimes we need to be rejected so we can be redirected, right? You following? You with me? Rejected to be rejected, right? And so I know that I'm being rejected for something that I thought was good, but I'm being redirected now to something that's even better. And I have to be patient for that. I have to trust the process. And this process can play out for another year, right? There's things that I have to do legally. There's things that I have to do, reporting wise, things to stand up. When a bully, comes at you, you can either run from them and let them continue with that behavior, or you stand up to them and, work through the systems and the processes that we have here in where we live. So every time I thought I was being rejected from something good, I was actually being redirected to something better. So I hope that helps with today's journey. The other one I like is I don't have gray hair. I actually have wisdom highlights. So I've gone through a lot of stuff from, death and dying, trauma, being a victim of violent crime, with my brother being murdered, to transformation and healing in the dark night of the soul. And that gives you some gray hairs. And it's like, well, they're not gray hairs, they're wisdom highlights. So maybe you have some wisdom highlights for what you've gone through. But the one thing I wanted to leave you with here, and then I'll start getting into some readings for you, is I want you to ponder this question. And it's something that I've questioned for a long time. And what fascinates me is that hardly anyone is wondering what they're actually doing on this planet. Why are you on this planet? We're going about our lives. A lot of us, have our nose buried in our phone. We're on this beautiful planet that goes around a big ball of fire in a universe that's mathematically incomprehensible, with lots of things that we don't know. Science, we only know about 4% of proven science by the scientific method and mathematics that support that. That means there's 96% we don't know. We know more about our moon than we do our own ocean, with the planet being covered with over 70% of water. We know that 30% land mass that's on the planet, we don't know what's underneath that, what's in it. Scientists are actually theorizing that there's actually an inner Earth, right? Something that you would think about from Lord of the Rings, or J.R. Tolkien writing about inner Earth, right? And science is starting to get measurements that there is actually something inside of our planet, inner Earth, if you will. Shit, the James Webb Telescope, just the other day, I follow all these different things about our universe and about science and about mathematics and numerology and metaphysics. The James Webb Telescope is picking up what did I just see? I want to make sure I'm saying it right here, because I posted it on my Soul Adventures and Spiritual Beings Having Human Experiences page, if you want to join those group pages. So the telescope has found signs of possible light sources on a planet that's 47 light years away. That's 47. I don't remember how the light years work, but I don't know if we could actually get to the planet and with our current technology. But if the James Webb is out there a million miles and it's pointing and it's picking up light now from a planet, a possible light source, that means if there's light source, that means there's intelligence. That means that there are signatures, biotech signatures of species. And I would hope so. That's a pretty big waste of space if we're the only species in this universe. And if you follow my work, you know that I've long said in our Roaring 20s that we would come to realize that we're not alone in the universe. That doesn't mean little green men, even though I love Grogu. He's getting his own movie, by the way, for you Star Wars fans. The Mandalorian and Grogu is being filmed. But that doesn't mean little green men. That could be an intelligence that's just far superior and far advanced and have worked through their aggressions, that maybe they are coming back and giving us the technology. Think about how advanced technology has become just in the last 25 years alone. And imagine what the next 25 years is going to look like with the incorporation of quantum computing, with the incorporation of robotics, with the incorporation of artificial intelligence. We're living longer, right? But we're also becoming more lazier. We're becoming more dependent on the technology. So it's going to be interesting to see where our world goes in the days, months, weeks, and years ahead, if you will. So, I just want to tell you that, if you're having a rough go with stuff, just remember the happiest people follow passions, not paychecks, right? And what is your purpose on this planet? And that's just, that's something that I long question and sometimes just kind of ponder, like, why am I on this planet? What am I actually doing on this planet today? If not now, when? Carpe Diem, the song, that I was playing earlier to open the show was Why Not Today? Why not today? And most of you, not all of you, but most of you, or the people that are around you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, a lot of them are just on what we call this work, eat, entertainment, sleep cycle as life. And that's all they're doing. They're just every day work, eat, have some entertainment, sleep, redo, right? And we don't have a deeper understanding for our purpose in this universe. So today I'm challenging you to prospect, to go deeper in your journey. Things that are happening, yeah, like Brandy talked about, it wasn't right, but it's right on time. And, take that time to work on your breath, to maybe move into a place of silence, to listen to your higher self. We had a great guest on the show on Inspired Living on Wednesday. No show this week. I'll be off this week, but I'll be back with another guest next week. Matthew Kelly, I had to think about his name, but he wrote The Rocking Chair Prophet. Excellent novel. First opening pages had me in tears, just like, holy crap, that's talk about trauma, talk about severe loss. But then went into the mountains to receive information and sit in that silence and talk to his higher self and stop listening to all the external bullshit and all the external voices that are coming in. It's like drinking from a fire hose, right? It's just like, you just need to just stop. The word of listen and silent are an anagram. They have the same amount of letters. And if you switch them around, one says silent, switch around them, the other says listen, right? But you can go to some amazing places without drugs, without getting high. You can go there right by just using your breath, right? Just the power of breath is very transformative. So, I challenge you. Are you one of those people that's in the work, eat, entertainment, sleep cycle of life? Or are you somebody that's really wanting to step outside of your comfort zone and to transform and to evolve and to move into a purpose of why you're here and to know thyself and to do great work for our planet, for our species, for others, even when people are being unkind, even when people are treating you, it's not right, but it's right on time because it forces us to make a change. So that's the message for this morning. We're going to play another song here, and then I'm going to get into some of your comments. So if you're new to the show, please subscribe to the Intuitive Prospector page. You can also get on our Diamonds Hub, which is, again, it's literally $4.99 a month. It's so cheap. It's actually less than a cup of coffee. But inside that hub or my Patreon prospectors, everything is right here at marclainhart.com, including my latest article about the pineal gland. I've written about the pineal gland, and then my other article out is the diamonds of being alone, because we're very isolated in our society, especially with technology and the digital transformation and the Zoom rooms. So there's a lot of people that are lonely out there. And so I did an article and I wrote about the diamonds of actually what is the benefits of being alone. And that includes tuning into your higher self and listening to the voice within versus all the BS that's out here. So take that time to disconnect so you can make that time to reconnect. All right, so let me get over to the page, give you some shout outs. Where are we at? Intuitive Prospector page, and then we'll open up the Zoom room, open up the Facebook Live page here. And again, thank you to my team for being on. Good morning to you. If you want to work with me, if you want to learn about doing more of these discussions and philosophies and development, you can go right here to marclainhart.com. There's a big blue diamond on the homepage. You click on that. That will actually give you an email to my spiritual development group, which meets Wednesdays via Zoom. So you can come in from anywhere. We start at 5 p.m. Pacific. So we have people all across the country, Canada, and over in the UK and Wales. And if you are interested in doing that, just go to my webpage, and then you can get to all my different links and join my YouTube channel, which is literally blowing up. I honestly don't know what happened with that, but all of a sudden my videos are trending and resonating with people. Maybe it's the timing, right? Maybe it wasn't right then, but now it's right on time, right? So let me get the link to put into the comments, invite. and then I'll give you some shout outs. Copy invite. You want to come into the Zoom room. And again, the people in the Zoom room, I'm looking for badges now. I'm looking for Patreon Prospector, Diamond subscribers. If you're a star sender, I'll get a notice that you're a star sender. That just helps pay for more coffee and having fun on Fridays. Friday favorites. Let's see, Intuitive Prospector. So bear with me. I got to get over. I'm the host. I'm the editor. I'm the producer. I'm everything wrapped up in one. But again, I hope you had a great week. And if you didn't, work into the breath, work into that stillness, work into that healing and that transformation. And again, things that are going on in our world is creating a lot of uncertainty, anxiety and depression and divide and isolation. That is going to continue. But if you followed my work, I said that this would happen in our roaring 20s, right? Including more wars, civil wars, revolutions, all that stuff. But I also see the great coming together. So that gives me hope for a future that does look very bright. Okay, so let's get to page, comment, maybe. This over here. Bear with me. Bear with me. Can't see the page in its entirety at times, so there we go. Page. Let's see here. Let's mute that. Put comments with the Zoom link. If I'm doing this right, just look for my avatar. Let's see, what's a good avatar I'll do today. Let's do hugging the heart. So look for me hugging the heart, and that Zoom link is on there. There it is. So if you want to grab that, or if the moderator team, if you want to grab that, and if anybody needs it, feel free to grab that. So Zoom link is out. Passcode is 2023. Drag that tab back over. Okay. So I think we're good. So let me give some shout outs to you. Again, thanks for being here. If you want to join my other group pages, you can join Soul Adventures, the Inspired Living community page. That's our internet radio. So you can listen to us from anywhere around the globe on any device. There's no memberships there, no passwords, no BS, no username. The global players at marklainhart.com. What's another fun group page? We got the hemp community page. So if you're into plant medicines, that's a group page that I administer, which is a lot of fun and growing. Spiritual beings having human experiences, a lot of posting a lot of human experiences of our crazy world and the things that we're going into. And let's see, what's a good song? So let's just take a quick breath and let's do Counting My Blessings. And then I'll give you some shout outs here. Let me see, share screen.
Wandering on the beach.
The ocean sprays, the birds speak. We look inside and rise in peace, eyes open to realize hope as we walk in beauty wherever the path leads. Creator is guiding me on this journey. That's all I need. Warmth beneath my feet as I look into the skies. Tears fill my eyes, and love fills my mind. The drum sounding so astounding, heart pounding with relief. Ears open to catch the lessons, 5 fingers counting my blessings. I believe with time and effort we can achieve.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was called "Counting My Blessings" by Minion Jelly is the name of the artist. And again, a lot of the music I play, not a lot, all my music is always copyright free, trademark free, and available to share on my shows or my podcast. And I always like to call out the artist that's sharing that wisdom, that information, that drumming, that indigenous. If you've never been in a drum circle, if you've never worked in gone to a sweat lodge or plant medicine or worked in a drumming circle, I would highly recommend that connection to the drum, the beat, the heartbeat of nature, and very quite transformative and healing, and definitely that culture. The indigenous cultures are very in tune and connected and have it right, and we wonder why America is so crazy, because we've gotten away from our first home, which is nature. That's why the word forest, if you break it down, means for rest. So big fan of nature. After my surgery here, I hope to get back and do some Forest Friday hikes have the show in the morning, and then go out and do some hikes in nature, because that's very, very important. But let me just give you some shout outs now. Hi, Anna Para. Cara, good morning to you. Claudia says, I quit my job, started to work somewhere else. I quit the toxic work and not going back. Good for you. Good for you. Jenny says, from rejected to redirected. Yeah, that's something that I like. Theme word for the past several weeks. Yep. Wally. Yeah, that's a great analogy, the cartoon Wally, where we get so dependent on technology and get very round, and we have to go back to, we can actually walk, we can actually do that for ourselves. If you've never seen Wally, I highly recommend that. Patty Ann says, yes, follow your heart's pace within. Yeah, very, very important. Good morning, Rosie. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, that sunshine. It is sunny here in Seattle, so we will take it. Patty Ann says, I would love a card of guidance. Thank you. Okay. Tara, thanks for being a subscriber. Thanks for being here. Good morning to you. Patty's coming in from Minnesota. Awesome. Hi, Tame. Bev, good morning to you. Renard King, good morning to you. Let's see who else is here. Laura, Miss Benoit, good morning to you. Let's see. Patty Ann says, Mark, you're greatly appreciated for all you give out. Thank you. I am Native American. How do you say, is it pronounced Ojibwe? Ojibwe? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. As a white-bodied person, I've done a lot of research and a lot of application into the Native American, the indigenous, and the history of it, and the philosophy, and the wisdom and the healing that comes from that, right? Very connected to nature, and also the very violent history of what was done to the indigenous cultures, especially here in America. You talk about, a lot of times we talk about during World War II, and the overall, estimated killed over 50 million people, but it also slaughtered 6 million Jews in the in the horrific concentration camps. And we talk about the Holocaust, but we forget to talk about the Holocaust that was performed here, the re-education, the estimated 120 million indigenous men, women, and children that were terminated, murdered, killed, and so everything holds energy, and so that will come back. But I have long been, when I did my first drumming circle years ago, and my spiritual understanding of psychic and mediumship and metaphysics, I was hooked. And you can see the drum behind me. Actually, that's my drum right there. And sometimes just sitting drumming and moving into that silence and stillness can take you to some pretty amazing places of your higher self, your auric field, your consciousness, your mindset, and it tunes out the noise that is all here. And there's just so much noise now. We have so many voices that we listen to. I challenge you to listen to your own voice to make better decisions, more insightful decisions, and also to help navigate the many pathways of life. So good morning to Jessica, Cute Lou. Good morning, Judy. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get into some questions, some Q&A. I'm going to do about 10 minutes until 11 o'clock. The Zoom room is now open. Again, to qualify to come into the Zoom room to ask me questions, I'm looking for badges. I'm looking for Patreon prospectors. I'm looking for Diamonds Hub subscribers or star senders. Those are really the top 4 ways to come into the Zoom room with me. So if you come in, you'll go into the waiting room. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll get in to have a question. You can come in and we can talk about anything, really. You can ask me questions. We can go psychic. We can try to go mediumship. Mediumship has to be done through, I can't do it through the comments. I did that early on in my career and it was horrible, clunky. You need a excuse me, Must be the voice of spirit getting ready to talk. You need the connections of the person you're talking to, the sitter, the medium, the yes, the no's, the I'm not sure's, the I don't remember's, to have information flow, right? And that's one of the cards that I picked this morning was the flow. That mediumship won't work through comments. I've seen other people do it. Just for me, it doesn't work. So again, if you have a question and you're qualified to come in, please come in. And let's go into your questions. So let's see. Patty said, somebody wanted a card here. Let me get you a card here. Let's see. Card for guidance. So this is for Patty Ann. You're on deck. If you're still on, throw up some likes or hearts real quick so I know that you're still on, because we have people come in, come out, drop off, all of that, which is fine. That's totally fine. But I just want to make sure that Patty Ann is still on. So we're to the Q&A part of Metaphysical Meetup with Mark. There's some hearts. All right. The guidance, I'm going to go to the flower deck for you. So this deck is called Flower Sentience. And this card is the white rose for you this morning, Patty Ann. I don't know if the white rose has significance. Sometimes flowers do have significance for people, especially from those that have passed on. Sometimes white roses are that universal light and love of your loved ones coming back. But the card says this: the white rose is the flower which represents charm. So this card brings this beautiful energy into your life. Feel charming. It also it's the flower of peace, innocence, and purity. So feel these energies now in your life. And for any guidance for you, Patty Ann, you want to have peace, you want to have innocence, and you want to have purity, integrity, right? That's what a lot of the world is missing today. There's a heavenly connection. So this, remember I was just telling you about flowers, and especially white flowers being that heavenly connection. There is a heavenly connection with the white rose, which focuses on reverence, humility, and silence. Interesting. So indicating that this must be a time for focusing on your sensitivity and exploring the full power of your soul. The white rose also indicates new beginnings, so there may be a need for keeping secrets while you go into new beginnings. But that is the white rose from the Flower Sentience deck, one of the decks that I was given when I was in England back in December. It's a newer deck that I use, but I love it because it's all connected to nature, and most people, especially women, like flowers, right? So I hope that helps. Does that make sense, Patty Ann, for your guidance? Again, breath. Go to breath for guidance. People forget to breathe. It's just so simple. Okay, let's see. Any other questions here? Let me catch up. Jenny says, Mark, what referrals do you have to a rookie at breathing exercises? I know the 478, but that's it. I would like to learn more. Your suggestions are appreciated. Well, thanks for that feedback, Jenny. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's many different forms. One of the first breath works that I actually started working on was actually the box breath. And the box breath is literally taking it. So you visualize a box in your mind, right? And you can do a second count of 4 seconds, 4, 4, 4, 4. You can mix it up. But it's actually a technique that's used by the Navy SEALs, our military. So in times of great stress and great pressure, they actually teach Navy SEALs to move into the box breath. So it's very similar to take a breath in, hold that breath, exhale that breath, hold that breath. So it's literally in your mind, you're creating a box, and you decide, I usually do the 4-4-4 technique. So it's 4 seconds in, and I breathe in through my nose, right? I'm always breathing through my nose because this is a filter system. If you breathe in through your mouth, it goes right to your lungs. There's no filter. So it's important to breathe properly. And also when you breathe in, your stomach should extend out. That means that you're breathing true and deep into what in Qigong, this is called the dantian, or the heater. You can actually heat your body up through the power of breath. But the box breath I love because it's quick and easy. It's easy to remember, and it's used for real world applications. Again, I first learned this in my days of my Coast Guard days, and when I lost my brother's breath through biofeedback became a big important part of my journey. So breath in, hold the breath, release the breath, hold the breath, and you just do that. And you can even do 8 seconds. So if you wanted to take an 8-second breath in, you can actually suck in a little bit more air. If you get to your max on that intake of 8 seconds, you can actually suck in a little bit more through your mouth. Hold, and you can even, when you're holding, you can tense up and you can squeeze for 8 seconds, and then you blow it out for 8 seconds, and then hold again. And what will happen is the mind chatter actually reduces. And again, this is something I learned back in my days, the trauma and tragedies of, you know, losing my brothers and my father-in-law, and, you know, just a world of hurt, to like, breath is going to take you to some pretty amazing places. Biofeedback, hypnotherapy, grieving counseling, all these things are very important to help you with your transformation of healing and your journey in life, right? Because we've all gone through some shit, right? But that's why that hangs there. Good reminder, you need to let that shit go, right? So the 2 exercises, so the box breath is one, Jenny. The second one I love is called Soma breath work, S-O-M-A. And what that does for beginners, it really gets you to hold your breath to where you move out of holding your breath in your mind, and you can actually, you know, take your core, and you can actually like generate it, and it actually will take and process oxygen, and you can hold your breath for long periods of time. And what happens is you move into a state of hypoxia. So you become very, that just feels relaxed. That feels good. So S-O-M-A is my breath that I do. The box breath, the Soma breath work, S-O-M-A. And then I also do Wim Hof breath work, which means I submerge myself into a cold therapy, whether it's a cold shower every day, or going out here to the Puget Sound and walking out and spending 3 to 5 minutes in the 51-degree Puget Sound waters, but working with my breath. When the environment is, your body is freaking out because you're immersed in a cold environment. So Wim Hof breath work, Soma breath work, box breath work, and you have all that technology at your fingertips. YouTube, you can go to my YouTube channel. I have some spiritual takeout, which has some qigong meditations. I've got a meditation on insight timer. I've got a sound bath on insight timer, and I'll be doing more of that as I move into my retirement years now. But I hope that helps for you, Jen. And again, thanks for, I see your badge there. So thanks for the follow and the journey, and prospecting with me on the many pathways of life. So Patty says, I definitely have that ability to connect with so much. I am a medium. Yeah, Patty Ann, I believe that we all have a capability to connect to something bigger than ourselves. A lot of times we're limited by what others think. We're limited by our learned behaviors, how we were raised, religion. So really, if you can move past some of those barriers, you realize that what you think you know, you don't know. Or as Plato always said, people that claim to know it all know nothing at all. And I can tell you in my journey, spiritually, metaphysically, the soul adventures, I have seen some amazing shit, and I know that there's just more amazing shit to come. So again, it's an interesting journey, isn't it? So hi Marique, Julie, Bev, can I get a card of your choosing? You bet. For you, Bev, I'm gonna go to the I allow deck. You need to allow some stuff to flow. You need to allow some stuff to take place. Interesting. I allow myself to respect myself. So I allow myself to respect myself. I allow myself to respect myself. And I always say it 3 times because I do believe in the power of the 3. I've seen that even before my spiritual days, and as a first responder, you know, as a firefighter EMT, we saw the cases of 3 all the time. Things would come in 3s. And I was like, why does that happen in 3s? It's very interesting. But then I became more spiritual. I was like, oh, the power of 3 is creativity. So it's allowing yourself to respect yourself, and don't allow other people to disrespect you. Part of respecting yourself is creating barriers and standing up and speaking your truth when others, you know, may be coming at you. So respect yourself. Respect yourself. It's an old NWA song too. Respect yourself. So I hope that helps, Bev. Thanks for being here. All right, you're welcome, Patty Ann. So you did resonate with that card. You're welcome. Okay, yeah, the white rose is very symbolic too for the spirit world and those that reside there. And again, for those of you that may be new to this journey, or maybe you're just unlocking your potentials, give yourself time, patience, trust. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. The dark night of the soul can last for a few years, a few weeks, a few months. But once you make that transformation, you can't. It's like being unplugged from the matrix. You can't go back, right? You've evolved and you've opened your mind. And the white rose is literally symbolic of the spirit people on the other side. And when I say the other side, I mean literally our world, because people come to me all the time when I'm doing readings or lectures or these shows, and they'll say, Mark, you know, I've always been taught that heaven is up, and if you're not good enough, hell is down. They usually, you know, I was raised in Catholicism, so the Catholic Church actually taught it when I was younger. They actually had a philosophy that there was a purgatory, that you were stuck here. So you weren't good enough to get up and above, and you weren't bad enough to get down below. So you were stuck here. And I'm like, that really sucks. And it plays against the laws of physics, because laws of physics based on energy, based on the energy I've been talking about, you're either here or you're there. Energy doesn't just spin and hang out. Energy goes to source, or to, you know, if I turn the mic on, the energy comes to the mic. If I turn the mic off, the energy leaves the mic, right? That's my philosophy. That's my viewpoint. That's my education and studies of physics. You're either here or you're there. I don't get into the whole you're stuck purgatory, right? And that doctrine has since then gone away. And of course, I don't believe that heaven is up. I do believe in a heaven, and I do believe that we can create our own hell, or maybe life here on the planet is hell on earth with everything that we see on a daily basis, the mass shootings, the violence, the politics, the divide, the lack of caring of our planet, right? That could literally be we're living our hell on earth. But I don't subscribe to heaven being up and hell being down, because we're on a round planet. So metaphysically, you don't go up or down. We're on a round planet going around a big ball of fire in space. So you start to think broader, you start to think bigger, and then you're like, oh, okay. So, and death is not the end. One of the podcasts I just did was talking about death is not extinction. Death is extension. Death is an extension of ourselves and what we've learned here, and we accumulate everything like a computer. Maybe, like I said, what if we are AI ourselves and we're processing and collecting data on our experiences, and then when we reached our capacity, that's death, and then we move into something different, right? Lots of fun conversations, things we talk about in group, some of the things that we do with the meditations, some of the CE5 for those of you that believe in extra dimensional beings, like I do, because I've experienced them firsthand. I haven't experienced Bigfoot yet. I've been out on some hikes where I felt like I was being watched, but I haven't actually seen a Bigfoot, if you will. And a lot of times, when I share my experiences, it's from my own personal experiences, and you won't understand it until you have the experience yourself, right? But I can definitely tell you that we're not alone based on my experiences when I was in the Coast Guard back in 1999 off Puerto Rico. So I've talked about that in my podcast, and there'll be more of that. There'll be more of these curiosities and mysteries that we just don't understand. And a lot of times what we don't understand leads us to fear, because again, we're such an intelligent yet chaotic species that fear is false evidence appearing real. We create our own fear, right? There is real fears, fight, flight, or freeze, but we create a lot of our own fear through false evidence appearing real. So, that fear energy of not understanding doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's just, we've been conditioned. Society conditions us based off belief and learned behaviors and ideas. So I'll challenge you this week to take the time to disconnect. Again, maybe what's going on in your life, maybe it's not right, but maybe it was right on time, as Brandy Carlisle talks about in The Journey. And of course, I go back to Einstein. We were talking about this on the podcast on Wednesday. If you had 1 hour to answer your most, I'm not going to say it right, but he said it well in the book. He said it well on the podcast. If you were given 1 hour to figure out the question to save your life, it's the one question you've been asked. What would you do? What would Einstein do? And he said, I'd take the first 55 minutes to sit in the silence, to sit with my higher self. And then I would take the last 5 minutes to answer the question. So it just shows the relevancy, importance of get out of the noise out here and get into the wisdom that's in here. And again, if you're being rejected, maybe it's because you're being redirected to something better. All right. So Jenny says, may I please have a card from the same deck you read for Patty? You bet. So this is called the Flower Sentience deck. So sentience is the ability, clairsentience, clairvoyance. The sentience is the ability to feel, right? Because the skin is the largest organ on the body. And so the card I have for you this morning, this is for Jenny Fisher. This is called the Orange Lily. And again, it's a number 3. I was just talking about the 3 energy, how important the 3 energy is. But the orange lily is symbolic of desire and passion, and this card is thus bringing those qualities into your life. So desire and passion. Perhaps you've been missing the energy that moves life forward in many areas and ways. Again, sometimes less is more, and that higher thought that I'm talking about, that meditation, that consciousness, it doesn't come in like a lion, y'all. It comes in like a lamb, and you got to get to a place where you can actually hear the lamb. So if you think of a lion coming in roaring, that's not how it works, or at least in my experience, and at least in my students' experience. This flower brings the beautiful, nurturing energy which you may need right now to help you feel that you can move your life forward. So we're moving your life forward. Right, Jenny? Perhaps there have been some harsh words spoken, but let them go and find the joy in life that comes to you from this card. So let it go and let passion and purpose come forward into your life. And this is called the Orange Lily. And when I give people a reading or a card, I always say, pay attention after the connection. Some of the best evidence comes after the reading, after the card, after the connection. And when you know it, Jenny, that maybe you see an orange lily, Could be in a magazine, in a television. You're out walking in nature, like Mark was just talking about that. I call that the signs, the symbols, the synergy, spiritual energy of what's connected here and what is unseen, and the synchronicities, which Einstein always said, synchronicities and coincidences are God's way of remaining anonymous. Whoever or whatever God is to you, I no longer subscribe to try to tell people. I don't know. I just know that there is something beyond death from my own experiences, my own near-death experience, my connections as a medium, and the thousands of readings I've done with people all around the world. So something to think about. Denise, hello. Thanks for being a follower. May I please have a card drawn for me of your choosing? Friend, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Denise, and you bet. The card I'm going to have for you is I'm going to go to my atoms, my nuclear deck. And the reason I say nuclear, because it doesn't look like the nuclear atom. So, and it's fun. I love using these cards because they can fit together like a honeycomb. When I'm doing a reading, you can actually, connect the messages. I got this when I was in Palm Springs, actually. Lady doing a reading for me gave me the deck, and I was like, this is a cool deck. I want to use this on my shows. So the card that was chosen for you this morning is service. Now it's the red energy. So this is the root chakra down below, the root and the base chakras, the sacral chakra, the root chakra, the base chakra, however you want to call it. That's all based on foundations, career, relationships, money, your sexuality, but it's also about being in service. The color is about being in service. So a lot of times when I get this message of service, it's like because we're feeling either down about ourselves or we're not in a place of gratitude. So we change our attitude to gratitude, and we can do that by being in service, by helping others. You get more by giving than what you get, right? I know that Anne Frank, I think it was Anne Frank, or was it Helen Keller? One of the two, I can't remember. Anne Frank or Helen Keller quoted as saying, the more you'll get more by giving than what you do by getting. So be in service this week. Be in service today, because this is all we have as a present moment is today. We don't have tomorrow, and we can't change yesterday, right? So what's the old adage? Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is the gift. That's why it's called the present. So be in service to yourself too. You can be in service to yourself and go do something that makes your higher self feel good, makes your energy radiate out. And again, don't get caught up in the chaos and the noise of what our world is today, because it is very chaotic. All right, Kara, got to run. We'll listen later. Well, thanks, Kara. Thanks for being a subscriber. And if you look at Kara's name, sorry, I have a friend named Kira, so I apologize. Kara, I just get bad habits of Kira. I don't think she's on, but shout out to Kira, my good monkey friend. I always call her Monkey Girl. So, but her name is spelled Kera, and so Kara, I apologize. Thanks for, if you look at her name, she's got that subscriber badge. It's a green heart in a kind of a diamond. That means she's a subscriber to the Diamonds Hub. So you too can be a subscriber if you want, either on my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures, my Patreon Prospectors page, which you can get here at marklainhart.com, or here on Facebook called the Diamonds Hub. Just go to the Intuitive Prospector and go up to the Subscribers Hub, and we'll have a lot of fun inside. I promise you. All right. So Claudia, I would love a card. Just see if I'm currently on the right track in my life, in my decisions I made. So what I would first say to you, Claudia, is you're not on the right track. You're not on the wrong track. You're right where you need to be, right? My mentor would tell me that all the time. So the card, I'm going to work, let's go numerology for you this morning. The numerology deck is very important. Happy ending. There you go. Happy ending. 93. So the 9 means completion, coming to a completion of something. The 3 means creative, expressive, creative energy. So move into that creative energy, that creative expressive, and there's a happy ending here. So that's a great card. So way to go on that. Set your intentions, manifest. We're in the year of manifest. Y'all don't realize how powerful your thoughts can become. And you have great energy and great power in manifesting through your thought process, mindfulness. So I hope you enjoy that card. Andreas, hello to you, my friend. How are you? Marique Julie says, I heard spirits and saw them starting at age 4. As I get older, it was only once in a while for both, but I feel when spirits are around me over 30 years of meditation. Yeah, and that's Marique. Is it Marique Julie or Julie Marique? Sorry. Great that you're doing that. But one of the cards that I actually have for myself here, and I'm going to read this to you because I think this card is very relevant to what you're saying. Even though you've done over 30 years of meditation, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not even half that. 30 years, I'm maybe at 10, maybe approaching 10 to 12 years of dedicated meditation, sitting in the silence, sitting in the power. But the card that I picked for me this week, this is the card's called White Eagle. And it's something that I connected with when I study abroad in England. And it says this, and this is what I want to throw at you as well, Marie Julie. Do not confuse physical age with spiritual maturity, right? So if you're thinking 30 years, I must be pretty mature, but don't confuse the physical age, because we're the only species that counts our life by years and a number, right? Years ago, they couldn't remember how old they were because they didn't celebrate birthdays. It wasn't until the turn of the century they started celebrating birthdays, which means you buy stuff, consumerism, capitalism, all that stuff, right? But you go back, even just 150 years ago, people be like, how old are you? I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I don't celebrate it yearly. It's kind of like death, burying people. We didn't always bury people in expensive coffins, right? That's more of a capitalism consumer thing that started around the turn of the century. A lot of times it was just an old pine box that went into the ground, right? Not spending $10,000 for this mahogany, box that you're going to go sit in for the rest of your physical incarnation, but your body's, your spirit, your consciousness, your energy, your love, your memories, your essence of who you are is already left. So you're paying a lot of money for pretty much an empty box, right? But it says, don't confuse physical age with spiritual maturity. It is not the number of years that matters, but the growth, development, and unfoldment of the soul that is temporarily manifested through the body. Because remember, y'all, these are temporary. We're robots. Our bodies are robots, machines, if you will, and they're temporary. They're on consignment, which means once the consignment's up, it returns to sender, right? So little things to think about, but not to be scared of. Death is, like I said, I have found it very comforting, very welcoming, very loving. Reunion. The irony is the loss here, and trust me, I've gone through a lot of loss with friends and families through many different means: suicide, brain cancer, multiple sclerosis, suicides, murder. I just had a friend pass last year, from lung cancer, never smoked a day in his life. It's like, well, shit, how's that work, right? But it's not, I don't find it to be anything scary, quite the opposite. So, and as you get older, you start thinking about it because you're now closer to, going to more funerals than you are to weddings, based on where you're at in your age. But at the same time, when you've learned everything you need to learn here, then I believe that journey ends and a new journey begins, right? Just like we breathe liquid for 9 months. I was talking earlier about how amazing our bodies are through the power of breath. But also remember that you didn't always breathe air, you breathe liquid, right? So it just shows you that you can transform from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And this is the cocoon phase, right? So keep listening to spirit and keep doing that, being in service for spirit and bringing that energy in. Hey, Kathleen, how are you? Good to see you here. Long time no see. Yes, welcome back. We're here on Fridays now, Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And now also broadcasting over on my Soul Adventures YouTube channel, last week's episode. So good to see you, Kathleen. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Glenda, hello to you. Shane O'Brien, hello. Katie, hello. I absolutely love your live, and I resonate with what you share. Thanks, Pidian. Right back at you. Appreciate it. That's what we do. We come in for community. We come in for encouragement. We come in for motivation, right? These are the things that, and this is what I'm going to, as I retire from, the next phase of my life, I'm moving into retirement for what I used to do, so I can do more of what this is. And the spirit world called me. The spirit world literally told me when this was all going down 8 months ago, we sent you a memo. I got this memo that kind of changed how I was doing my job, and just very unprofessional, very unethical, very cruel, actually. But at the same time, I got a download from the spirit world that said, well, you've got free will and choice, but you can't continue to do what you're doing with 1 foot in one organization and 1 foot in another organization. You have to choose who you want to become. And of course, I'm going to choose the metaphysical, the spiritual, the psychic, the mediumship, the healing, the transformation, the diamond within, every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So that's the evolution. And again, transformations are tough, but I'm also under the adage, once growth stops, decay begins. And I don't want to decay quite yet. So thanks for tuning in. Tara, good morning to you. Thanks for being a subscriber. Orange Tiger Lily, Saskatchewan, Canada, provincial flower, my fave. Well, see, there you go. Well, there you go. The orange lily. Let me give that to you then. There you go. Same message for you, Tara. And thanks for being a subscriber in the Diamond Hub. I really appreciate my followers and people that join me on this journey. Christina Hill, Christian Hill, sorry. I thought it was Christina. Christian Hill, hello to you. Oh, good morning to my mom. My mom is watching. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. Love you. Linda Beams, hello to you. Happy endings are good. Yes, they are, Claudia. We grow with love from within and share all love to all humanity. Yes, we do. All right. Hi, Teresa. Have a great weekend as well. All right. So I'm not seeing any more comments. If I missed your comment, just real quick, it's not personal. Sometimes it's the algorithm. Sometimes it's a flow of messages. We get a lot of messages going through. If I missed your question, go ahead and put bump and then ask your question again so I don't have to go up and try to find it. The Zoom room is open for 2 more minutes. If you want to come in, now's the time to do it. I went a little bit over. I said about 10 minutes, actually about a half hour now. And if you don't want to come in, you don't have to. That's fine. It's something that I offer. And just remember, the first Friday of every month after my live shows here on Facebook and over on YouTube, you can join me in a dedicated Zoom space for meditations, philosophy, lectures, healing, sitting in the silence, for my Patreon prospectors, for my star senders, and for my subscribers through the Diamonds Hub here on Facebook Live. So just something to think about. First Friday. So if you're, there's 2 sessions on Fridays, one at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then again at 3 p.m. So it kind of gives you 2 windows if you want to come in and as a subscriber, get that extra TLC or that extra dose of wisdom and knowledge. Or, a lot of times I learn from you as well, right? It's not just about me being the teacher. The teacher is also the student, and we walk alongside each other. So, all right. So have a great weekend. I'm not seeing anybody else coming in the Zoom room. I don't see any questions popping up that I missed. Again, thank you to my moderators for keeping the page positive, clean, healthy, upbeat, without comments of, cruelty and trolls and bots and trying to do all that, spam shit on social media. So I appreciate you keeping an eye and keeping the community positive and clean. So, all right, any other questions before we sign off? Let me pick a good song to take us out with. What's a good song to take us out with? So it's Friday, so TGIF. Yeah, thank God it's Friday. Have a great weekend. Let's go with Grateful. This is by the group The Wave, because I think it's important to move into that gratitude. And like I said, if you're having a rough go, today's message is it wasn't right, but it was right on time. And that's the song by Brandy Carlisle. But we're going to move into Grateful because that song I can officially play. If I could play Brandy, I would, but I would get muted for copyright infringement. So take a deep breath. Have a great weekend. Be in the moment. Practice the pause. Take a lifetime out. Observe, don't absorb. If you're being rejected, maybe it's because you're being redirected. So, and most importantly, breathe. All right. So have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. And again, if you want to work with me in the future, get in my development group, get my book, get my latest articles, just go right here to marclainhart.com. You can also ask your Alexa to open up Positive Living to get spiritual tips, or you can ask your Alexa to open up Inspired Living Podcast to play this latest episode, The Rocking Chair Prophet, which is an excellent book. Highly recommend the novel. I forgot to grab it because it's actually in my, I was reading it downstairs. It's a great story. So and that's why I love doing internet radio, because I get to read all these cool stories and books and have conversations with amazing people. So, all right, until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and most importantly, whatever is going on in our world, wherever you're at in the world, it's always so important. And remember, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live, and I hope that you'll discover that diamond within. So take care, and we'll go out with a little bit of gratitude. Take care, everybody. Namaste.
Grateful for all the things I've seen. Grateful for all the Lord's blessing. Ain't gonna stop, no, ain't no how. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. Oh Lord. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I ain't got no reason to be hateful. Hair and nails paid for. I'm so thankful. Put you through some things I know that was quite painful. Grateful, yeah, I'm grateful, yeah, I'm grateful. Yeah, God
7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.